Hello, hello.
Howdy, how are
Hi,
we?
I'm
good.
great, thank you. How are you?
Not bad.
That's good. Welcome to KK Podcast. Everybody, I'm introducing Scenic from EVL, Evil Esports. He is on the podcast today as a special guest. We have a lot of interesting questions to ask him today. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of laughs, a lot of information that some of you might not know. Um, Kev, do you have anything to say before we start?
Nah, I reckon we just get started straight into it.
Awesome. So, um, Scenic, we have a few questions we would like to ask you. Um, First question being, what was the reasoning and why'd you create Evil? What was the cause of it?
So the reasoning behind creating EVL was I don't know, at the time EVL was founded, there wasn't very many stepping stone orgs, if that makes sense, because you do have your big names such as Power and all those other sort of massive
Or
orgs.
Loyal, GLM, Mag?
Yeah,
Yeah, yep.
exactly. All the stuff that isn't really, it's all sort of invite only, and it's all sort of it's not very many pathways to get into that.
Mhm.
As you won't be easily recognized out of the tens of thousands of other people trying to grind for those orgs,
Yep.
especially looking at Power. When they signed Overstrand, it was only
Overstrand. Oh
because that was mid last year, early last year. Only real reason he was sort of noticed is because his content was different. And being a viewer of Overstrand at the time, I was like his content's different.
yeah.
Where
Like,
helping
would you
people
say?
develop those skills to
Yep.
have to get that unique content is sort of why EVL was created, and sort of as a stepping ground into getting them into the higher tier orgs, if that does make
Awesome.
sense.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying Overstrain, so you see his content as like unique and different to everybody else's?
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, cool. That's actually very interesting. Because we've talked to a few other big organization owners, and they've actually had a different stepping stone and different idea of how they created their organization. And you've actually the first person that has like given us that answer, which is very interesting. Interests me personally. I love to hear like what you just said. Um, well, we'll move on to another question. What advice would you give to other organizations, like, say, about growing, about promoting, marketing? Like, what advice would you give to them?
honestly, it's all just about pushing through it. There's going to be hard times where it may seem like there's no way out of the hole that's been dug.
Yep.
Honestly, you just need to push through it. In terms of
Awesome.
marketing, that will all come to you over time. You're
Y-
not going to obviously have a marketing strategy overnight. It's something you're going to
Overnight,
develop
yeah.
as your brand develops as well.
Mhm.
Now, with EVL, one of the reasons we're growing so much is because we were really lucky to have a few people reach out to us and say, do you want to host a giveaway with me? Go half. Like a Twitter giveaway, go half on it. That's how we've managed to grow a lot. Is that community engagement
Yep.
on Twitter?
Understood.
Yeah, interesting.
Um, what can the community see in the future from Evil? Like, what do OC community? What do you believe they see for the future of Evil? Like, where do you think they think it would go?
Hard to say, as obviously I know what plans are happening within the next few months or the next few years.
Yep.
But from a community standpoint, that isn't really something I would feel confident speaking on. As everyone views orgs differently. We
I
may not
agree.
have the same views about EVL. We may not have the same views about FaZe or Power, those big name
Yep.
orgs as well.
Awesome. So yeah, so we almost got a little bit of a leak from Evil, so we'll move on from that. Uh, what do what's Evil's goals? How do you see Evil in the future? Where do you see it getting to? Do you see it getting to like a really big platform? Like, do you see it being as big as FaZe or as big as like Loyal or Power? Where do you see it getting? What is its goals?
Of course, that is the overall end game for any organization. I feel like EVL doesn't really have much to separate it apart as far as getting big one day. Getting the return on investment that we've promised each other.
Yep.
It's all honestly about just seeing where it goes. Obviously, stuff will change that. There is no solid plan for any. I don't feel like there should be any solid plan for any org that's still in such early stages like EVL. Like even looking at BFG, there's no
Yep.
you can't really plan it out as stuff will influence. Signings will influence your reputation, as well as how the team's growth will be over time. That's also to see. Obviously want it to grow big one day. It's sort of seeing. It's take it as it goes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You
But-
feel the waters out, and you feel how things are going, and then you make goals from there, and everything comes with time and growth. Well, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to move on a bit, at what point did you around or any other founders that you probably have discussed with realize that EVL would be potentially competing with the highest organizations in OCE?
Honestly, it's when we started having people throw our name around a lot more than we had expected to at the time. And even getting compared to on Twitter will be added in. Can we get a response from these orgs? Being on the same list as Power and GLM and Loyal
Yep.
is when we sort of started to know that we realize we're a lot bigger than we actually are. We have a lot more of a community than we had predicted we had.
Yeah, I agree. I woke up one morning and I checked my Twitter, and somebody put a tweet out. It was somebody from Loyal, I believe, and they were like, who do you think is the biggest organizations in OC at the moment? And then I was reading through the list, and I seen it was as Power, Loyal, GLM, Mag, and stuff. And I seen Evil at the bottom. I was like, wow, who's Evil? I was actually amazed because I clicked on your Twitter and seen that you guys have grown so fast. You guys grew crazy fast. It amazed me. And then I myself, my opinion, I seen you guys I knew just instantly that you guys are going to be big. The name, it's awesome. Evil, the initials EVL, it's pretty cool.
I appreciate that. That's one of the reasons we sort of lean towards the name Evil Legion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's simplistic, it's clean on a gamer tag, as well as it's very easy to style graphics wise as well.
I agree. It's really drawing it. It draws attention. Evil, EVL. Who doesn't love that?
Yeah, the organization, I feel like it's caught a lot of people's eyes, and it's dragged a lot of good names around the org, which I'm pretty sure all of the OC community is loving at the moment.
I see, myself as a Fortnite player, I like to play Fortnite competitive. I see an EVL in my lobby. I run the other way. I go and hide. EVL, you guys are scary. I'm scared of yous.
Don't worry, I did the exact same. I see a build fight, EVL's in there. Nah.
I see
Yeah.
EVL wiping the lobby. I see then an
You see
EVL player.
Megadan Spoctic rise in that lobby, it's just back out.
I leave the game instantly. I build up.
Yeah.
I die to full damage. I'm
No,
gone.
Yeah.
no point playing that out.
Exactly. Um,
Yeah. Going on to another one of our questions, what would you say were EVL's biggest achievements so far? Linking in back with the goals, but what do you think your highest achievements are currently?
Honestly, signing Giovanno, that was a pretty big move for us. It was fairly risky at the time we did, but we're so glad we did it. Honestly, signing any of the decently sized pros we've signed, such as Rise, Spoctic, and Megadan, it was the go-to move. We were very concerned about it at the start, but obviously they haven't let us down. We're really grateful to have them in the org.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're lucky we do have them.
Yeah, I did see the other day Giovanna was popping off in FNCS. I'm pretty sure he came first, actually. Congrats to him for that. I'm sure you guys as founders were very proud of his performance there.
Yes.
do you guys
We're-
have
Nope.
do you guys say instance of followship achievements? Have you I'm assuming you guys have set a 2-month achievement of a followship. Have you guys reached, for example, if you set an a goal for 400 followers in 2 months, have you guys reached any achievements of such as that?
Big one was hitting 1,000 on Twitter.
1,000 would be
That
awesome.
was a few weeks ago, if not
Yep.
more so a month ago. we haven't really, been put much thought into growing as much on Twitter as we're at a stable standstill as we are.
Yep.
It's more so what's our plan for the business side of things? What's our long-term plan for financing as well? Because obviously, esports, as some of you will know, is a big money pit. You really need to play it safe out there, otherwise you're not going to be able to get your money back.
Yeah. So yeah, there's like
Especially that's why a lot of smaller orgs fail as well, is because many people in the OC Fortnite community aren't. They'll make money. They'll make $2,000, $3,000 for a tourney. They're not really willing to separate with that. And that's one thing. If you are planning on starting an org, you will notice as well. You as owners will be investing into the org, but you won't be getting much back.
yeah, there's high invest and little return, like on roadmap point of view and stuff. When starting off as like a little org, you're putting in a lot of time and effort and losing money, but you have a long-term plan for the future, like such as Power. They have a long-term plan, obviously, and they've reached their goals. And that links back to what you just said.
Yeah. The achievements side, just going a bit more underneath all the achievements and the hard work that you guys put in with EVL. What season hardships did EVL?
So hardships would we had an owner leave last night, Charlu. Wishing him all the best of luck. Just some stuff that happened between IRL and some management decisions wise. I really respect his time, and now it's sort of we're trying to recover from that, both emotionally, as we're sad to see him go, as well as business wise.
Yeah.
It's sort of been the big one for the year.
Yeah, that was to see, but I mean, it's always the best. Another, all of you guys are together. How did all EVL founders and stuff like that, did you all meet? Did you meet yourselves with any of them? Did you just know them well? See community?
So I met the old founder of EVL, Kazra, through Stasi, actually. I've
Oh
been a
wow.
mod for her for about 6 years ish.
Wow.
I was
It's
in
amazing.
BFG at the time when I heard Kazra's name being thrown around. Obviously, I heard EVL's name being thrown around. Some stuff did happen, ownership wise with them. We've decided to part ways. And then Kazra hit me up because Charlie was talking to him about me leaving BFG and all that, and he's like, "Look, you're never gonna get an offer like this again. I want to offer you, 40% ownership in EVL." And it just sort of went from there. And I have not regretted taking his advice since. That's sort of how I met everyone in EVL.
Awesome. Would you class like you guys? Would you class you guys like as a strong family? Like, do you have tight bonds and stuff between each other?
Look, every org has their ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it is a giant esports family. Helping each other get better, even with other orgs. I do see BFG, I do see Gallium as brothers and sisters to EVL. At the end of the day, we're all trying to grow OC esports in one way or another. We may not think we all have the same goals, but at the end of the day, we all want to see each other strive, and we all want to see each other get to that big org name one day.
Awesome. Currently, where do you rank Evil amongst the other OC orgs? Like, for example, like a list 1 to 10, where do you rank Evil in the top orgs in OCE?
Every org owner is going to have the different say in this. Of course, they're all going to put themselves at the number one position. I would say we're sitting at about a solid 6, 5
Solid
to 7.
6.
5
Who
to
do
7,
you
yeah.
who do you believe are above you?
Obviously, Gallium, JFT, Power, they've all just had they've all been founded, they're all older than us, they've all had that experience, they've all had those big name signings. How loyal, of course, they got a really big fan base, respect them for that. Yeah, it's just the few people that are ahead of us is, the people that have been around in the scene for a while and have had their big name signings, like I said.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that question was a community question. Going on to more community questions now that Kalte will ask now.
Who do you believe, or in your opinion, it could be biased, like amongst other people, who do you think is the best comp player you have in Evil?
Pretty torn between who we have currently.
Yep.
Love Spock, Dick, and Rise. At the end of the day, like I love them like brothers. But at the end of the day, Megadan's attitude towards everything, especially with us signing him as he was returning to Fortnite, he showed the dedication for that. I would say he's my favorite. As he has shown the most dedication out of all our pros.
Awesome. He's really doing a good thing for himself and both for Evil. He's achieving a lot. I've seen up on leaderboards and stuff. Um, who do you believe is like Evil's best video edit, like VFXer? Do you have a favorite editing style in your amongst your team?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm very torn between. I'd have to be torn between Slacky and Fuse there. Love Fuse as he's very well-rounded. Sorry, I can't speak right now. He's well-rounded in terms of he can branch into other games, whether it be Valorant, Fortnite, Team Targes, you name it, he can do it.
He can do it, yeah.
Slacky does have a really unique style though, and that's one thing I'd have to say both of them. I can't really pick one or the other as a favorite. As you know, they both have their unique styles. I love the way they both edit stuff, and it's very hard to pick between.
Yeah.
Nice.
Strive. Now we go into a couple other community questions. While we're on the topic of best people in EVL, who do you reckon is the best content creator in EVL?
Pretty biased because I do manage Begsy and stuff like that. And,
Begsy is a king. Begsy on top.
Begsy on top, exactly. Honestly, in terms of uniqueness with their content, I would have to say our newest signing being Bad Blondie.
Yeah.
As you know, she's not the biggest streamer, but we see her going places definitely. Her sense of community is there, which we love about her. And she brings a really unique style to streaming as a whole. She's very community engaged. And, while she's in late game trios, she's not nervous to sit there and talk to chat and ask about their days and get to know them a bit better as well.
Yeah. And I know we covered a bit over before about your how your long-term goals and stuff. Genuinely, how far would you personally to go?
Like I said before as well with the whole stepping stone stuff, so we want to get to that point. We don't want to obviously be too big, become the next phase, become like a next, owning 10 houses and having a content house, comp houses. Of course that would be nice, but at least for me personally, I just want to become big enough to where we can help people develop their careers from someone who averages top 25 OCE in cups to get them into those big orgs like Power, Phase, just sort of be that middle ground where it's easier for them to get in if they go through us.
Awesome.
Yeah. We got you.
What do you believe are the hardest things to overcome, like to keep motivation and optimism going?
We just sort of push each other to keep going. We have had a few people leave over the last few months, obviously. Yeah, but it's sort of like, especially with ownership and executives, we're sort of like, look, we're all in this together. We're not going to run this org at a loss. We're going to get this org going somewhere one day. Whether it be this week, next month, we're going to get it happening. We're just sort of pushing each other to do better, as we know we all can keep improving.
That's amazing to hear. Honestly, that's what I love. You have a lot to say, and I'm happy for it. I'm gonna pass Kev over to the outro or whatever he wants to say now.
Yeah. Senic, sorry if I've pronounced it wrong, but thank you for being on our podcast. We appreciate it. Hopefully, the OC community now knows more about EVL, more about how it started, and a lot more.
Appreciate you guys so much for having me.
Yep.
Thank you
Also, for
very much.
anyone,
It was awesome. It was a good opportunity, and I'm grateful that we could do this.
yeah.
I'm glad I could be a part of it. Thank
And
you guys so much.
anyone watching, if you want to check out EVL, the links will be in the description, and we will also have Senic's links in the description as well for his time and effort podcast should be out soon, and I think that's it. That's a wrap.